Here to talk about the implications of the incident and how this could affect intercollegiate athletics on the whole is a professor of sports administration here at OU. Dave Ridpath, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Morgan. Glad to be here.
All right, so now you work in the area of collegiate athletics, so I'm just curious to get your opinions on the scandal and then how Penn State handled it.
Well, obviously this is probably one of the worst scandals that I've witnessed, and you know, I've been involved in two myself, and this is probably about the most sordid thing that I've seen. I think Penn State's handling of it initially was pretty bad, but I think overall when you look at the root causes of corruption in college athletics, it really comes down to some people feeling that protecting the brand, protecting the team, and protecting a coach is more important than anything, and sadly, I think Penn State said loud and clear it was more important than protecting innocent children.
So now one of the big parts of controversy of this story is the firing of Joe Paterno, which came out today. Do you think the school got it right by letting him go?
Well, I think they did, and I understand, being a fan myself, and certainly being somebody who has admired Coach Paterno over the years, you still have to be held accountable for your actions, or in this case, non-actions. And I don't think Penn State had any recourse but to essentially clean house, and that does start with Joe Paterno, the most powerful person on campus, if not the state.
So now what do you think, what does this scandal say about the leaders of the Penn State football team and then even the leaders of Penn State in general? What does it say about them that they weren't able to handle the situation better?
Well, it shows that the culture was football above else. I mean, clearly a lot of people knew or had sufficient knowledge that potentially something was going on. But let's say this, Morgan, let's just say that Jerry Sandusky is innocent, and right now he does have a presumption of innocence, despite the mountain of circumstantial evidence. Penn State's reaction to this, or non-action in this situation, in and of itself is reprehensible, and I think should cause a complete change at the leadership of that university, which of course it has started. I don't think we've heard the half of this yet. I think there's going to be more, unfortunately, to this story coming out. But it does show where their priorities were, and unfortunately they are suffering the consequences for that.
Now, do you think this is an isolated incident just in Penn State, or do you think this is really showing a bigger issue in collegiate sports?
Well, I don't know if we have something as revolting that's being hidden, but I will tell you that it is symptomatic of the system to rationalize something that in normal behavior we likely wouldn't rationalize. So we have seen at Baylor, for instance, people rationalizing the circumstances of a murder being changed, if you go back to that situation, or cases that I've been intimately involved with where people tend to rationalize behavior of a coach when it wouldn't be rationalized for somebody else, whether they are covering up for an arrest or something like that, or if a player gets arrested. College athletics can make smart, rational people behave irrationally, and I think certainly at Penn State, they did that.
All right, well, you know, I'm sure this isn't the last we're going to hear about this scandal. Dave Ridpath, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Morgan. I appreciate it.